We live in interesting times. Today's stories. China urges the U.S. to revoke plans of arms sale to Taiwan. Brazil president comments on Venezuela's crisis at the Yanga. Suspended sentence for the father of a boy saved by a Paris Spider-Man. Macron and Trump say they want to work together. Trump takes protectionist stance at the UN General Assembly. President Trump vows U.S. response to any Syrian chemical attack. Plus, the Iglesia ni Cristo and the Felix Waimanalo Foundation bring aid for humanity to Toronto, Canada. Hello everyone, I am Sarah Nachman bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. China expressed strong dissatisfaction on Tuesday after U.S. plans to sell a batch of military parts to the self-governing island of Taiwan, adding to tensions between the global superpowers. The State Department said in a statement on Monday the $330 million contract would see the U.S. ship standard spare parts for several aircraft, including the F-16 fighter and the C-130 cargo plane. China lashed out at the deal, saying it severely violates international laws and norms governing foreign relations, and expressed strong dissatisfaction and firm opposition to the sales.
美方向台湾出售武器，严重违反国际法和国际关系基本准则，严重违反中美3个联合公报原则，损害了中国主权和安全利益。中方对
Beijing sees Taiwan as part of its territory awaiting unification and is deeply suspicious of the island's relations with the United States. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Geng Shuang told a regular press briefing that Beijing has lodged solemn representations, an official protest with the United States.
中方敦促美方切实恪守在中美3个联合公报中作出的严肃承诺，立即撤销上述对台军售计划，停止美台。
Congress has 30 days to raise objections to the sale, though this is unlikely given the State Department has determined Taiwan continues to be an important force for political stability, military balance, and economic progress in the region. Washington remains Taipei's most powerful unofficial ally and its main arms supplier, despite switching diplomatic recognition to Beijing in 1979. China has stepped up diplomatic and military pressure on Taiwan since the Beijing septic President Tsai Ing-wen took office 2 years ago, including staging a series of military exercises near the island. Taiwan on Tuesday welcomed the U.S. announcement, saying it would help the island strengthen its defense capabilities. The Foreign Ministry said in a statement, as Taiwan faces gradually heightened threats, the U.S. arms sales would also boost Taiwan's confidence in strengthening self-defense to help maintain peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan's presidential office said the island's government would continue to increase its defense investment and maintain close communication and cooperation with the U.S. on security issues. Beijing has been incensed by recent warming ties between Washington and Taipei, including the approval by the U.S. State Department of a preliminary license to sell submarine technology to the island. The U.S. recently sanctioned a Chinese military procurement organization, drawing a sharp protest from Beijing and a decision to postpone planned military talks. Beijing and Washington are also at odds over China's wooing of Taiwan's diplomatic allies. The new arms sale was announced on the same day that President Donald Trump's administration enacted new tariffs against China, covering another $200 billion of Chinese imports. The move brings the amount of Chinese goods hit by duties to more than $250 billion, roughly half of China's U.S. exports. Brazilian President Michel Temer highlights the welcoming of tens of thousands of Venezuelan immigrants in Brazil in his last speech before the UN General Assembly.
Na América do Sul, os senhores sabem, estamos em meio a uma onda migratória de grandes proporções. Estima-se que mais de 1 milhão de venezuelanos já deixaram o seu país em busca de novas condições de vida. O Brasil tem recebido todos os que chegam ao nosso território. São dezenas de milhares a quem procuramos dar toda a assistência. Mas sabemos que a solução para a crise virá quando, na verdade, o nosso país, a Venezuela, encontrar o caminho do desenvolvimento. Então, instituímos no ano passado uma nova lei de migração, uma legislação moderna, que não apenas protege a dignidade do imigrante, mas reconhece os benefícios da imigração. Ampliamos direitos e desburocratizamos exigências para ingresso e permanência no Brasil.
The father of the little boy who was rescued dangling from a fourth-story Paris balcony by a Malian migrant dubbed Spider-Man received a 3-month suspended jail sentence Tuesday for leaving the child home alone. Mamadou Gassama was propelled to global stardom in May after footage of him scaling the facade of the apartment building with his bare hands to save the child went viral. Gassama, who was living illegally in France at the time, was rewarded with French citizenship and a job at the fire service.
However, the 5-year-old's 37-year-old father found himself in hot water for leaving the child unattended. Apart from the suspended sentence, he was also ordered to take a parenting course for leaving his son alone in their apartment while he went shopping. The public prosecutor had asked for the father to be given a 6-month suspended sentence, noting that had Gassama not sprung into action, the child might now be dead. The father, expressing remorse, said he had not realized that by leaving the sliding door to the balcony open, the child was placed in grave danger. He also admitted to being gone longer than he thought, around an hour, because he was playing the popular Pokemon Go game on his phone.
Il comprend les raisons pour lesquelles il a été condamné, il comprend l'intérêt. Et puis c'est ce que le tribunal a dit, c'est aussi une aide qu'on lui fournit pour lui tenir la main dans son rôle de père, ce qui effectivement peut apparaître comme une bonne chose. Je pense que vous l'avez tous entendu, il va très bien, peut-être même trop bien, puisqu'il a l'air d'être quasiment casse-pied comme petit, mais effectivement il va extrêmement bien, il n'est absolument pas traumatisé, et il a conservé sa vitalité, ce dont j'atteste encore une fois devant vous.
The child told the police he thought his father had gone back to Disneyland without him and decided to follow him. Finding the apartment door locked, he climbed over the balcony and then appears to have fallen, before miraculously managing to grab the rail of a balcony on the 4th floor. Footage of the incident filmed by a bystander shows him dangling in mid-air with a neighbor on the adjoining balcony desperately trying to hold on to him. 22-year-old Gassama then scales the building, Spider-Man style, and pulls him to safety. Under France's penal code, parental negligence carries a maximum penalty of 2 years in prison and a fine of up to 30,000 euros or $35,300. The boy's mother was on a visit to her native Réunion Island, a French territory in the Indian Ocean at the time. Both parents were said at the time to be extremely shaken by the incident, but hugely grateful to Gassama.
Up next, Macron and Trump say they want to work together. Trump takes protectionist stance at the UN General Assembly. President Trump vows U.S. response to any Syrian chemical attack. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return in a moment. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. French President Emmanuel Macron, during his bilateral meeting with Donald Trump, says, quote, "We have a lot of issues in common, and I think that terrorism, defense, the situation in the Middle East as well, is something we have and we want to fix, and we want to work together."
We've had some very good experiences. On occasion, not so good, but 99% very good. France is doing very well, we're doing very well, and I think very importantly, we're doing very well together. We have a lot of trade, and we're discussing trade. We'll be discussing it today. We'll be discussing military and defense, and terrorism is a big subject that we're always talking about.
We have a lot of issues in common, and I think terrorism defense, but situation in Middle East as well
Right.
is something we have and we want to fix, and we want to work together. We will be very happy to welcome you again in November in Paris, so thanks very much for being here today again.
We had dinner at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and it was one of the most beautiful evenings you'll ever see, so that was a great honor.
While addressing the annual General Assembly at the United Nations, President Donald Trump takes a protectionist stance, calling out countries like China, the OPEC nations, and Venezuela, vowing to reduce foreign aid, including the UN peacekeeping force. Trump said the United States would only give aid to countries that it regarded as allies.
Similar reasons, the United States will provide no support in recognition to the International Criminal Court. As far as America is concerned, the ICC has no jurisdiction, no legitimacy, and no authority. We defend many of these nations for nothing, and then they take advantage of us by giving us high oil prices. Not good. We want them to stop raising prices. We want them to start lowering prices. I have told our negotiators that the United States will not pay more than 25% of the UN peacekeeping budget. Moving forward, we are only going to give foreign aid to those who respect us and, frankly, are our friends. Currently, we are witnessing a human tragedy, as an example, in Venezuela. More than 2 million people have fled the anguish inflicted by the socialist Maduro regime and its Cuban sponsors.
Trump vows U.S. response to any Syria chemical attack during address to UN General Assembly.
Our shared goals must be the de-escalation of military conflict, along with a political solution that honors the will of the Syrian people. In this vein, we urge the United Nations-led peace process be reinvigorated. But rest assured, the United States will respond if chemical weapons are deployed by the Assad regime.
Coming up, the Iglesia Ni Cristo and the Felix Waimanalo Foundation bring aid for humanity to Toronto, Canada. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return shortly. This is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. I am Sarah Nackman. Reaching out to neighbors, the Iglesia Ni Cristo, in cooperation with Felix Waimanalo Foundation, brings aid to Toronto, Canada for aid to humanity. Eagle News correspondent Sabir Mufti reports.
The exhibition place in Toronto, Canada is the biggest entertainment site and prime destinations for trade shows, sporting events, concerts, and more. Although Toronto is considered to have the best entertainment center and business district, some of its poverty-stricken streets tell a different story. Here today, ready to lend a helping hand, the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, is holding its International Aid for Humanity.
The Iglesia Ni Cristo, Church of Christ, led by Executive Minister Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, conducts its International Aid for Humanity to fight against poverty in cooperation with its humanitarian arm, the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation.
We have about 4,000 care packages with winter articles, some food that we thought that would be very helpful to that kind of situation. And once we finish helping the people who were able to come, we're going to take the leftover bags and we're going to go through the city. We're going to go through the town and we're going to find these people and we're going to just hand it to them as a gesture of loving our fellow men.
This charitable event will benefit new immigrants, refugees, people living with disabilities, the elderly, men and women, youth communities, and those who are afflicted by economic challenges.
Check donations were handed out by Brother Glacerio Santos, the Iglesia Ni Cristo's internal auditor, to all the shelters who participated in this event.
Yeah, thank you so much for your generous donation to the neighborhood organization. We really appreciate the help to the community. The community is very grateful for your support and really giving back to those in need. It's a very powerful event, and to invite everyone together, I think this is very powerful.
This is something big, really, you know. When you come here and just like you see this kind of crowd and you see the people with this kind of feeling here, it means a lot to us. It is a lesson for all of us, you know, just like to attend the Church of Christ, something really special and global, you know, just like globally, to see just like how they organize this event and how they put all the effort to show us just like all of us, we can just like come together and also support, just like whenever we are possible, we can make a difference. And always good to support the people who are in need, you know. First of all, I would like to thank them very much, you know, for just coming today and organizing such an event like this.
Having them approach us and talk to us about the event and being willing to put together kits that encompass so many things that people on the streets need, especially in the cold months of winter, is a fantastic thing, such as socks, mittens, toques, all those kinds of things are things that really are needed in order to help them survive and manage through the winter if they can't find shelter. So that was fantastic to be able to get that invitation to come and know that there's support from the community to be able to help support those in need at that time.
I'm telling you, I am so amazed. Like, I did not expect this. I thought, oh, we're just coming down. Shadi said to come down, you'll get something. And I'm thinking, okay. I didn't really want to come. But when I came, I was really, really touched. And to see how the church is reaching out to the community, I am very much impressed.
I think it's a really great cause. I think it's a very community-driven initiative, and we're happy to be receiving this from them. So we're really grateful.
Church members gave away winter accessories, basic necessities, hygiene kits, and food items for the recipients.
Here in Toronto, there are so many people who are suffering from poverty, and also a significant number of people who are homeless. So approximately here in Toronto, they have about 7,000 bed spaces for people who are without emergency shelter. And usually between 90 to 95% of those bed spaces are being taken up each and every day. So when it comes to this activity, even in a small way, we are reaching out to those people, especially those who are homeless and those perhaps who have just entered into Canada, but they don't have their basic needs. We're going to help them in one way or another so that they in turn may have some kind of aid or assistance when it comes to their immediate necessities. We've also reached out to certain shelters and organizations. They'll be bringing members of their organization to this activity so that they could partake of what the Church of Christ has prepared for them today. So yes, we're looking forward to it. It's just another chapter in the social civic activities of the Iglesia Ni Cristo. We do these kinds of activities all throughout the world. So again, this is just another chapter in the good deeds of the church, which of course are based on the teachings of the Bible.
We're here right now here at the Queen Elizabeth building here in downtown Toronto. Currently we have our brethren, some of the organizers that are right now just gathering up, preparing the goods. Now these goods are winter care packages that have been also donated by our brethren inside the Church of Christ from different local congregations throughout the GTA. We even have our brethren who helped as far as Ottawa, Windsor, Montreal, and Beaconsfield.
Here, this is a really huge event to thank the sponsors, the shelters, like the refugee centers and shelters. This is a great opportunity for us, the FYM Foundation, to appreciate their efforts, their hard work, and reaching out to the new immigrants too.
Reporting from the Aid to Humanity event here in Toronto, Canada, I am Sabir Mufti, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Sabir. The Aid for Humanity Project recently extended help to Hurricane Florence's victims in the Carolina coast of the United States. That is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Join us tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our website at eaglenews.ph and eaglenewslive.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. On behalf of Eagle News Washington, D.C., thank you for watching. I am Sarah Nachman. I am one with you.